And then we can look at YouTube and see. And just make sure you mute your YouTube because it'll echo.
We're live.
Are we?
Yeah.
So you can mute the YouTube. And we're good to go. So welcome. Today I'm here with my beautiful friend, Tracy. And right there.
That's right.
And to me, you're over there.
Oh.
And this is EchoCode Live. I am starting a new version, a new, I suppose, aspect on my channel, which I've not done before, called EchoCode Live, which is basically just sharing with each other and with whoever decides they're going to jump in and watch this live or after, that we are a reflection. Our reflection is in our reality. And whatever we're seeing, in effect, we're being. And if there's something we'd like to change, that's the easiest viewpoint we can have. We don't need someone else to show us what is going on inside of us, unless it's something that is so close we can't actually see it. But our reality is a reflection of all the programming that we have running. And so it's not difficult until you allow yourself to know that you are the creator of your reality. And you can also use your programming to navigate where you'd like to be. And you could be anywhere you want to be. And that's not just something, I would say lightly, literally anywhere you want to be. So if you're not actually utilizing your internal guidance as a GPS to where you're headed and choose where you're headed, actually have a destination, it's really freaking hard to get there because be like the equivalent of hopping into a boat and deciding you want to go to an island and then not setting the GPS and hitting a bunch of, moves back and forth. So what I'd like to invite anyone who decides to pop in or who feels resonant to pop in and hang out with us is to ask questions around how they could see that with further clarity. So what I would love to do is know your perspective of that, Tracy. How do you feel about that? Am I the only one who can see that our reality is a reflection of who we are?
I talk about it all the time. We do have Rachel jumping in and saying hi, and I just want to say hi because you're helping us to understand how this stream is going to work. So I'm streaming on my YouTube. Hello, and hello to Wendy's YouTube. Yeah, I think the world is constantly talking to us and telling us about who we are by the way we see it, by the way our filters interpret things. Like almost daily, I think I'm saying, well, that's, what is that trying to tell you? Rather it's how somebody feels about another person, how things are going in their life, what's happening, injuries that happen, aches and pains that happen. All of it's talking to us. It's all talking to us. So everything is a mirror. And, we get to play this game where we're figuring out the puzzle pieces, right? Like, what does it mean? Why me getting triggered by something Wendy said? What did that mean? It wasn't about her. It was about me. And, my interpretation of it, my filter of it. And I had an incident like that the other day where I was talking to Julia Cannon, and I was saying something about, well, this person got this and then that didn't happen. And I just feel like that's what this means. And she's like, wow, that really does go through your filter, because when I heard you say that, to me, it meant this. And we were just comparing how our filters receive that information differently. Mm-hmm. And we applied it to our personal experiences around that. And of course we do. So
yeah, I love it. I mean, that's actually, I'm so glad you brought that up. So we have a question from Rachel, or a thought from Rachel, and I'm going to bring that up. Hi, everybody, Donna and Thomas, and it's Nonika, Lauren, Brenda, Rachel. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. What I wanted to speak to about that, something you said was, you can have a conversation with someone and both. So here's my analogy. Okay, let's put it this way. You and I are sitting on a couch, on this same couch, Tracy, and we're watching the same TV, and we're watching the exact same movie. We're sitting side by side. We're watching the movie, and it's some big blockbuster hit, and we're both hearing the same thing. We're watching the same movie. And when it's all done, you turn to me and you say, oh, Wendy, I loved that movie was so good. This happened and that happened. Don't you love when that happened? Right? We're sitting on the same couch,
Same couch, same movie.
same movie, and I say, "Are you kidding me? I can't stand that movie. That was awful." Right? Both could be for the exact same movie, but our perspectives of that movie is different. What I received from the movie and how I interpreted the movie's message, and how you received the movie and how you interpreted that movie's message, it could be so completely off. And we look at each other like, what? What do you mean you didn't like it? Or what do you mean you loved it?
How can we be friends if we see it so different?
Exactly, right? And that's the easiest analogy I've come up with to understand how something can get misinterpreted. Because you could be in a conversation with your like significant other, and that very same thing happens, only you're talking to one another, and what you hear them say is completely different than what, right, they intentionally were.
You only get a fraction of the information, right? Like you don't know everything that led up to that one moment that you interpreted a certain way, like what that other person's been through or anything. I think they, I can't remember what it was. It was years ago. I was watching something and it really helped me because it was saying out of like 5 million pieces of information going on all at one moment, we're only taking in maybe 5,000 pieces of that information. So we could not possibly know everything it took for that one moment to exist or happen. We just get 5,000 pieces of it, and it's like, and that's just a tiny number compared to what's the bigger picture of everything. Right. And so, so of course and everyone's standing on a different street corner, getting a different piece of that information, seeing it from a different angle, and it was like, that really helped clarify to me that, we're not going to see things. We're all unique. And we all have our experiences, those 5 million pieces of information that created the filter that we're putting that through.
Yeah.
And everyone's got a different set of information. So it's
well, what I would say, I guess the whole purpose of why I created EchoCode Live for us to talk about the echoes that we are being in reality is that example of even the movie, watching the same thing and having a different interpretation.
Yeah.
To me would be, okay, that's great, Wendy. Now I understand, how that works, but how can I use it to my benefit? And so that's where, we walk into a bit of my genius in that zone, is being able to see, okay, well, let's look at the programming that is so very clear with that exact same formula. So for both watching the movie, and Tracy, you loved the movie so much. It was so
Loved
good,
it.
so joyful. The programs that you're running are in complete alignment with the message you were receiving.
Yeah.
If I'm watching it and I'm like, no, that stinks. I don't like that at all. It's awful. Right. I feel like it was so, that whole movie was just judgmental against XYZ. That is a frequency program that's out of alignment with my true nature as source energy. Right. So that we're source energy expressed through a skin suit. And we have this reflection in our reality that we can both exist in at the same time, yet have a different experience. It's indicating the uniqueness of us as individuals. So how much fun that we have such a difference in our unique expression in the very same room together, right? So I would look at that movie and be able to interpret then what program's running for me that's out of alignment with my true nature as source energy. So there's a program that's running that's being reflected on the screen as a movie. Now, here's the thing. When you have this same movie running, you could say, well, Wendy, okay, but you're both watching the same movie. How could she like it? And you don't. And that's where the nuance of the programs show up. Here's how to interpret it. And this is, when anyone chooses to know this about themselves, your whole life changes, because then you look at your life and go, what? So here's how
and life changes because you're looking at it different.
Totally. So if I'm seeing a judgmental experience or expression from a movie and I was like totally turned off by the fact that that's all that was showing, it's not really what was showing in the movie because you got something different. So proof's in the pudding. You experience something different, it's 100% different.
I'm going to watch it 6 more times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in love with it.
I'd be like, ew, this is so out of alignment with my true nature as source energy. I don't like that at all. All that's saying to me is, for 2 seconds, nanoseconds, I get to separate myself for that moment from who I think I am, to understanding that what I'm experiencing, and let's call a spade, an emotional response to that movie
Yeah.
is indicating the very programming that is running through me, via me, that I'm experiencing while watching the movie. Something's showing it to me. Same movie, different programs are arriving for each one of us in the same room on the same couch, right, watching the same thing. So for me now, I'm like, whoa, I have a judgmental program running. What
Yeah.
does that mean, right? So we go through, I mean, this is my world. I'm super passionate about it, but that is what EchoCode
Yeah.
to me live is. It's in live in real time. You're echoing out of your expression of you, your individuation, which is the gold that you came here to be. And someone else is picking up whatever their program is showing them. So even if, let's just say it wasn't a movie, we're talking to some other human, and whatever they were saying, you're like, yeah, that's so cool. And I'm like, what? That's so judgmental. Who's right? No one.
Well, we both are.
Yeah, no one's right or wrong. It's like,
That was the experience you had, so you were right, and that was the experience I had, and I was right for my reality.
exactly. But
But it showed
immediately,
us each something. Yeah.
exactly. You would be like, "Oh, that's awesome. This conversation go on forever." And I'm like, "Yeah, this conversation is so judgy." Right? So we're not talking about the movie anymore. We're talking about another human that we're communicating with. And I would instantly have an emotional response that would cause a different conversation to occur. At least in my mind, I would be feeling something completely different. You would feel probably fine, normal, neutral, happy even. And I would be irritated, frustrated, and maybe a little annoyed that I'm experiencing something that's different, which, if we're still on the same topic, would be judgment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what I wanted to express, and it's a lot, I know, right out of the gate, but if you can at least allow yourself to understand that that's what's happening with every single human in your world and every single scenario, including movies and everything we're looking at, social media, videos, if you could identify all your programming and then learn how to like understand how you could shift it instantly, and your reality would show you something different, something better, because you're changing it to obviously you're tuning it to a station that's better. Wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
Right? So
Absolutely.
that's exactly why I wanted to jump in and start teaching what I know, teaching what I've been doing for the last 11 years with, individual humans at a really great level, because it's easy for me. That's just who I am. And that's how I understand this reality. So I want to share that. And I want people to have the ability to know that they can create that too.
Yeah.
And if it's here in a live YouTube space, which I've never really done before, I think I've done it once or twice and I messed it up probably both times. But
I was there for one of those. I thought it went well.
yeah, well, you know what? Nobody could hear the other person on the line, which is really funny.
Oh,
So I talked to myself the whole time.
Well, we all like what you have to say, so that's good news, right? That's good news. I just want to shout out to some of the people that are watching us right now, and just say hello to them and welcome you guys. I know that I didn't announce until this morning that I was going to be on here live with you. And so I'm excited that some of my people are showing up here for us, and that your people are here with us. It's just so nice to have these kind of conversations and share them with you guys and get your input. I always love the audience participation. It's like hearing what they have to say or any questions they have. So I don't know about you, but I like to invite questions. Are you okay with that?
Oh, that's exactly why we're here. That's
Yeah.
exactly why we're here, for sure. Let's go. I think I saw a point that I thought was really cool. Part of my coughing. It's because I got so excited and swallowed before. I think it was it Rachel? Yeah. Rachel had said something. This is it here. What I've been told by my guidance is that we are living metaphors. So what do you have to say about that? Okay.
What I have. Okay, I'm going to read it now myself. I think so too. And in fact, so when we talk about guidance, if we go deeper into that, like angels, guides, all the things, when over the years, and this is this is where I'm at today. I always like to say I give myself room to grow and change my mind. But where I'm at today is that my understanding of a guide is that this is another version of us from another life that we've lived. The guidance that comes through is us tapping into infinite amounts of lifetimes that we've lived and learned, and we're growing. And I believe that Earth is, you've heard the term Earth School. I believe that it's a very advanced planet. Some people will say, oh, it's a baby planet. And I'm like, I think it's a very advanced planet, because you have to be a soul that can come into duality and work your way through that and find your way back to home, back to who you truly are. Like, if that is the theme of this school, then I think that's pretty advanced. And so if you're here, and especially if you're watching shows like this, where we're opening our minds to all these things, and possibilities and timelines and different experiences, like just quantum was something that was coming in very strong this this particular week. So just being in these quantum fields, learning how many layers there are to us, we go to the Shrek movie, we're like onions, we're just a bunch of different layers. And I just think that it's so exciting to keep finding out more and more. And like I said, I'd like to leave that open to grow, and I might change my mind tomorrow about what something is. But it's, to me, it's like, if you thought of life like a game, and this is the playing field, then go out and have some fun and really be creative in that game. And people will say, well, why would we create a game that's so hard? And I'm like, you go ask any gamer that question. I have 3 sons, and all 3 of them have the fancy ass computers to do their gaming on. Would they be playing Paperboy and throwing piece of paper to the door stops like we used to do back in the day? No, they're going to go out and get those really advanced games where they got to play on teams and navigate and get to the finish line, and pick their characters, and they're picking all the different things that their characters will have and what color hair they have and all that. And I'm like, God, this is probably what we did.
So you're saying, I don't know, be creative and challenge ourselves?
Yes. And have fun with it. Like,
oh yeah, for sure. That's my key. How long have we known each other? How many years? Do you remember the first time?
Now.
It's years.
It's been a few.
The first time we met, we had some like really great conversation. We connected like immediately. I remember that for sure. Yeah. And I remember, I think it was when I was first learning about how people were channeling, and I'm like, wow, it would be really interesting to do that. Do you remember that? And I know that we are all literally channeling our own aspect of source energy. Call that aspect source, and soul via source. And the funniest part was, I'm like, maybe you can. Do you remember? I said, maybe you can help me do that. Like, just sit there with me and ask me questions, and I'll go in and see like what happened. Yeah. Do you remember that? Oh my God.
Yeah, we went all kinds of places in that. And I know that we have really profound sessions when we get together. It's like we both just go into it, and we're out there just having incredible experiences.
It's like we're pinging off each other, going deeper. Yeah. I remember speaking about things when you and I did that, when I was practicing, just going in. I'm like, I'm going to go in and just talk to her, just ask me questions. And I remember you asking me questions. And I had that experience of kind of being a witness to myself speaking. And I was like, wow, this is so cool. And excuse me, I remember speaking about things that today I know a lot about, but I didn't know anything about him back then. I was speaking about 0-point frequency and the directness right from source. So there wasn't anything in between. And I remember feeling very short-worded and direct, which is really funny because in my everyday life, I'm extremely articulate. So for me to be so direct and so pointed and utilizing language that I didn't understand at the time, but I knew, but I didn't cognitively in my third dimensional reality know. And now to look back and go, dang, girl, we had some fun. And that really opened up the potentiality that I see that occurs for everyone. And
Yeah.
that just came from going in. Excuse me, like
Yeah.
going inward and
Just
being
being
in a
open to what happens.
yeah, it was so easy and so natural. And so at this point, I mean, it's been 11 years that I've been doing a lot of this work. And I don't know, I can't remember how many, we'll have to look to see how many years it's been. Many years that you and I have hung out.
Oh, yeah.
Where that level of going in has, for me,
I'm
like,
sitting here in my head trying to figure it out because I think it's been about 7 years,
yeah,
6 or
it's been a
7 years.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so much has happened. And a lot of my work is aligned with everything we once spoke about. And I didn't even notice it until I look back and go, oh, yeah, I remember saying that about 0 point frequency. And
0 point frequency. I
yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
yeah, the place of creation. And then since then, some of the newer stuff that I've got, I have a secret podcast. If anybody listening or watching wants to go and check it out, it's free. Excuse me, if you go to my website, I'll show you what it is. It's the secret podcast itself. If you go to the top of my website and it'll say podcast and click on there, you got to pop your email in there. It's really fun, but it'll take you to a place where you create your account and then you're going to go in and listen to the audios. But I literally do the stuff from my bathtub and fall through.
This is true. I haven't witnessed it, but I've heard the stories.
Yeah. I've shown up more than one time like this, like looking over the tub because I forgot what time it was. Like I was not even in my own space. So I popped into a group call or something, leading a group call from the bathtub on video with my head sticking on top of the tub. But everything comes through the water for me. Always has, but I really, really potent space. And so all the cool, really cutting edge conscious stuff that I get, I put into the secret podcast so that we can listen to it. And what I found is it is an activator and I would say calibrator. So if you're listening to it, you're going to calibrate if you're just allowing yourself to vibrate with the language. It is really fun. I would love, anyone who wants to dive in and play in there. You'll really you'll find some cool stuff. I talk about some really neat things, even I think is really cool. After I'm like, dang, that was so good. And on some of the audios at the end, you can hear me saying that because I kind of pop out. I know when I'm done. And before I hit end on the recording, I'm like, oh my God, that was so good. I'm talking about myself, which is so funny. But
a higher version of self. You can appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Super fun. So I'm just reading what Laura's saying here. She said, what is she saying here? Hearing that one of my many guides is myself and other lives makes sense to me. I'm laughing. I've privately wondered if other people's guides say you need to calm the F down right now. Oh
yes.
my God.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Including my own. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, calm down. You're taken care of. It's all good.
Oh my God. So
we experience life just like anyone else. People on the spiritual journeys and all the things. It doesn't mean we get out of life experiences. We're still in a 3D world, right? So
yeah. So good. Thanks, Thomas, for your comment. We have some really fun stuff, and the intentionality around us even hanging out together, even when it's just the two of us, is to have the most fun at the highest frequency we can.
Yeah.
Because why else would you not want that in your world? It doesn't have to be as serious as we make ourselves to be. And I say ourselves because when we take life seriously, we're taking ourselves seriously. Because the life is a reflection of everything we're being, right? I think I've told you my analogy before, Trace, of how we're like a computer. Before I knew AI existed, I was always under the impression from my own experience that we were like a computer. Because
I made that comparison many times too. Let's see if ours are the same. Tell me.
Yeah. So because my first massive, I guess, awakening was that I could actually experience the programming that was running in everyone else, including myself, and shift it. So it was like super awesome. But the further experience of it was like, wow, I can experience it myself. I can change it and it'll change the outer reality. And then the visuals started coming in like a computer. So we are the computer And then in our computer, we have the software. So we're the programmer. So we're the hardware. We're the software that's running. We're the programmer that programs the software. We are the editor, which is also considered programmer. We also have access to the monitor of the computer, which is our reality. So everything that's running inside of our computer is showing up in our reality as the software runs. We're seeing it in the monitor, and all of it is being experienced by us.
Yeah.
Every aspect of the computer experience is being experienced by us. So when the programming arrives, the indicator of what program it is indicated by your emotions. And you can only have emotions if you have a third dimensional skin suit, if you have a resonator, right? So your skin suit is your resonator. So if it's resonating and you're feeling the emotional moment, it's because the resonator is indicating a frequency that you are reading. So you get to learn how to read frequency by taking your emotions and understanding that it's a frequency first, and the emotional response is the indicator. It's like, hey, sadness, hey, anger, hey, right? It's everything. And because of that, that gives you full permission as a creator to lean into everything that you can in order to change your experience, especially if you don't like it. If something keeps repeatedly showing up, but in different forms, and you start recognizing that your response is the same and it just gets elevated each time, the cool thing is not that it's happening, but that it's happening, because now you can stop and look at it and go, oh man, this is a program. And as the programmer and the software and the hardware and the monitor, like looking at the monitor, what could I change with this programming that would change the monitor's experience, like the monitor that I'm seeing in my reality and my experience of it as a program, like going in, and it's almost like changing the sequencing of the frequency so that now you experience it different, and your reality has no choice but to reflect that. The programming is. And
that's an important key. Say that again.
So when you change your frequency, because the monitor is the reflection of you and your programming, when you change the internal programming, your reality must change to show it to you. Here's my example. This is how everybody can remember it so much easier. Well, I'm going to age myself, but whatever.
You're a beautiful age.
So back in the day when personal computers first came about, and we all started buying them for home, the computer screen was like dark, and you would have a green blinking cursor that you would like type into it as green blinking cursor, right? And that was what it was, until one day a programmer came around and it was like, hey man, we can put color, let's do color. And they programmed color into the computers, and the operating system ran the color program, and now suddenly we're seeing colors in our computer. Well, that is what the perfect example of what programming can do. The inside gets changed as a program, the outside external shows you the difference.
Reflects it. Yeah.
Well, I don't wake up, and when you change it, it's changed. Like, let's be clear. When you change programming, it's changed. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and go, man, like, I hope my computer's color still today. I hope it didn't flip back to black and green.
Yeah.
Right? I don't ever think about that, because, not that it's not possible, but evolution is natural in that case. Where
I don't know. Could you imagine going back 15 years, 20 years to your belief systems back then?
I would probably laugh my ass off at what they are, because we didn't know what we know now, and because of, evolution could we have known it back then? I'm sure there are people that are and have, and how many people were actually in the world of being able to talk about it like this. We didn't even have YouTube, for heaven's sakes. Like, YouTube didn't exist back then. So how did you? Well, you gathered with like-minded humans and shared your insight, and it didn't go very far because we just didn't have, right? We didn't have the capacity, but now we do, which makes it so much fun. And everything, I know that you do your particular work in your way as well. In my world, it's all I do all day long is ship people's programs for fun. Like, I'm like, let's go, man. You don't like that? Let's go. And I used to teach along the way. So it would be individually, I would work with people, and I couldn't work one session and then that's it. And they would go away and come back some other time, because I felt fully responsible for the fact that somebody's reality would change instantly as I would shift the program with them, and they would choose, right? This is a permission based thing, because I can't go into your computer and change it, have it stick. You have to be like, hit the okay button, right?
Right.
You have to hit that, like, yeah.
Plus, we got to give them the passwords. We need the passwords.
Yeah. So when I would change something, I would think, oh gosh, this isn't going to work. In order to experience the real true transformation that gets to be experienced when someone's doing this work, they get to walk themselves all the way in and have it like forever and ever. Amen. So like we're experiencing color on our computer, it just gets better and better. Well, so I set up 3-month experiences where every week we get together and clear programming, and then that changes. We had a target that we were headed towards. So it happened every time, which for me, I need no more evidence of the potentiality around that. But every time I would teach them little tools, and year over year, I'd get all these new tools and keep teaching them. This year I decided, okay, fine. It's time to just let people learn it on their own, right? Get in there and maybe listen to me teach it. I have a very visual way of speaking, I find. So I use all the crazy analogies, but it makes sense and people can understand it. Their logical mind then buys into what their soul knows is possible, and they shift themselves easily. So I started putting all those tools into a program sequence called Accelerate. And now they can go in and learn it on their own. And it's all that good stuff in there. But it's literally only for those who are like, yeah, that's what I want. Like, I don't think people need to change. I think that's an individual choice. And there's a lot of schools of thought around.
There could be a program running, though, that they think they need to change.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, the schools of thought around the globe that I'm seeing most recently are that, oh, the world is broken and it has to change, and too many terrible things are happening. And yes, that might be so, but what programs are showing up for you that if you shifted that would change your experience of the external reality? Because situations change.
I can tell you that's a real thing. People will tell me something's going on and I'm like, what? Yeah. I have no idea. It's not in my reality because I changed where I put my energy, how I'm responding to the world, and all the things.
Yeah.
And so we can change those realities. And then you get the question, well, is that like putting your head in the sand because these things are going on? It's like, are they going on? Or is that a simulation that's playing to mirror back to you something that needs to heal? A judgment or a fear or something that you're projecting out there that's being mirrored back.
I don't even think it need to heal then, Trace. I'm like, I've eliminated all the things where you need, it's something that is broken. It's like, oh, am I making myself aware of this? Because if I'm the program, if I'm the operating system and I'm all the pieces, hardware, software, programs, programmer, experience of other programs, then what am I showing myself right now that I get to shift if I want to? And how many times would I like to see it? And if it's something you don't like, not like it in order to be like, oh, holy hell, I'm changing this because this thing I don't like. Every time I run into this, I get more, a higher and higher emotional state response. At some point, it's, you're going to peak yourself over the limit, but you're activating that. You're running the program yourself, excuse me. And so my interpretation of a soul's trajectory is always onward and upward, right? And by that, I mean, we're naturally movement is life. So we're always in motion, in movement. And that's the case. You're always going to reach for something that's more beneficial or greater than, not in quantity, but in quality as far as how you experience your reality. And so that's the case. How many times do you want to punch yourself in the face until you go, ow, that hurt? Maybe I should stop doing that. And the only way that you can is by addressing the programs running and then shift the program so that your experience becomes different. That it instantly stops. I have a litmus test that I use that I think I'm up until now, the only one that I know of that, like, I'll say humble brag about a litmus test inside of my work, because I'm like, I don't just do it. And it's not just a guess, just have to hope that it's going to work. it freaking well works. And I'll show you at the end of the session, like, here you go. Let's do the litmus test. You get to see for yourself if this works. Because by the end of the day, if you don't know that you are the creator of your own reality, it's really tough to play in this world and not feel victimized by it.
Yeah. Oh, you are. I mean, if you don't know that, then you are a victim.
Yeah.
It's just how that's going to play, because you're not going to understand how to shift that creation, that mirror.
Yeah. So much fun, right? If people, anyone watching, if you have questions, just type it in, and we would be happy to like riff back and forth on, right? Maybe viewpoints that you have, or how things could shift, or what you might be looking at. And sometimes we can't see our own programming. A lot of times, if it's really close to you, I mean, even I know for myself that's true. So feel free to ask questions, because I mean, that's what we're here for. I would love to identify some programming with people. I mean, why not, right? This is a place.
I'm just checking. I shared it with my Facebook page to see, just to see if anybody's commenting over there as well, because I'm not sure that feed will make it to us, but it looks like we're good. So everything's coming through, it looks like. Okay.
That's cool. This is pretty fun. I mean, as far as hanging out with you and here, this little thing is really working in that it's a fun place to play. So what do you think?
Place to play, and these guys are fun people to play with.
I know. What's Thomas saying here? Full self-experience. Well, let me put it up. Full self-experience will bring you true feelings. Then our infinite diversity really opens up with unconditional loving self-acceptance. Absolutely. Absolutely. And what was next? It reminds me of a source quote. It is my creation, but you create your own experience within it. Oh, totally. That's so cool. And so I think, Thomas, it's one thing to know that. One thing to know of it, like it's conceptualized. It's another thing to know it, right? Because a lot of people say stuff and they use the word belief or believe. And they say, well, I believe that. But I have an entire talk on it. Belief and know are two completely different experiences, because look at all the things that people say they believe and they want to believe. So they identify themselves as believing in it. But if you believe something, you don't know it. And a lot of times that's a really tough thing for people to receive for themselves, because they want to believe, or they've been brought in to a scenario that causes them to feel like they have to believe in something. And really, they don't know that it's true, but they were told they must believe. And, we can speak about, you can classify it as anything: religions, education, culturalism, all kinds of things. You're just taught, but it doesn't mean you know it. It means you're taught to believe it, and believing is outside of you. Knowing is an internal thing. Like if I know something, good luck knocking me off my knowing. It's not happening because I know it. Now, am I open to shift my knowing? Yes. But it's so different from the external belief part. Because when you believe something, anybody can talk around it and you will argue about a belief without standing in a knowing. A belief renders argument. Why? Because you have to then, your brain tries to find reasons why you believe what you believe. Where if you know something, you'll say it once and be like, I don't care if you believe it or you don't, or you know it. It just is what it is. You have zero judgment towards yourself or others, zero movement. I was like, I don't know. That's what I know. Like, it's like, it's like, okay, I wear glasses. Well, today I do, and I know I do. I'm wearing them. They're on my face. So I don't know. If you can't see them, that's okay. Right? This is a silly example, but it's true. And when you catch yourself, I caught myself saying the word believe. I believe blah, blah, blah when I'm talking, and could hear myself saying it. I backed up. I'm like, hold up. There's a really fast question that happens in your head. Do I believe that or do I know it? No, I know it. Okay, let me back up. I know that X, Y, Z, because there's a stark difference. A belief can be knocked over. Because there's no solid knowing. And for all of you business humans out there that might be watching this now or on the replay, when you know something, there's a certainty. And when you are certain about something, you can sell the shit out of it. Why? Because you don't have to sell it. You know something.
Because you know. Yeah, it's in your frequency.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really powerful when it comes to creating lives that you want. Like, if you want to build a business and really grow it, when you know certain things so flippin' easy, it's so much fun. I love playing that. But when you believe something because you heard somebody say it or someone you appreciate in the business world say something and you don't actually like know it, then you're in the space of belief. Well, I believe that because they said that. But if you don't know it, what happens is you're buying now the experience of belief and doubt side by side. You have both. And what that translates to, excuse me, if you're in a business where you're buying somebody else's belief on whether it works or not, you have that coupled doubt. Sometimes what you're doing works and sometimes it doesn't. But you
Yeah.
don't know why, right? Because you don't have a knowing. So you don't know why it does that. You just say, well, I don't know, works for some people, doesn't work for others. However, the flip side of that coin is when you know something, you know. And for me, the experience in my work is 100% of the time it works. The 100% of the time it works because
Yeah.
I know how it works and it works,
And it works.
when we walk through it. The only time I would say that there could be a wobble is when I am not 100% clear on the person sitting before me who is in belief mode. They're not in that's what they truly want. So if they don't know if they want transformation, they're wobbling. And I haven't stopped long enough to identify that piece. And I'm only speaking from years ago because I don't even invite that in any longer as far as my experience. But that was the one time I could say, wow, there was a wobble there because I never should have worked with that person because I knew that what they were saying and what they were saying they wanted and what they actually wanted were two different things.
Yeah.
I want change, but I'm not willing to have change. Really tough. I call that a zero belief. No way out. There's
Well,
no
you
way out.
got questions in the chat now if
I'm
you want to take a
excited.
peekaboo
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
that. See
So
if you
let's
got
see.
something you want to dive into there.
Yeah. So I think Sarah's was first. Is what about changing programming to get a higher paying job? Yeah. Oh, how funny. I didn't see your question before I started
I
talking
know.
about
I
it.
thought maybe you did, and that's why you
I
went that route.
didn't. Oh my gosh, so good. Sarah.
The
So,
intuitive in you.
what are you gonna do? That's exactly it. So here's my interpretation of your question for you. If you're looking to get a higher paying job, this is the tidiest way you can get one that has more money attached to it. Know your value when it is combined with what they're looking for in a human, their jobs or whatever they need to do inside that position. Know your value. Because when you know what you're capable of creating for someone else, you can ask any money you want. It doesn't mean that they're going to be willing to pay it, but the odds are the reflection that you're going to get on their side is an aligned reflection because somehow they're going to know that you know, right? They're going to know that, I'm like, dang, this girl knows what she's talking about. She knows, like, I have this feeling that she can do exactly what she says she can do. Right. So if you're aligning your values that you know and that you're certain of with what they're looking for, you can't not make more money. It's inevitable. And if they're not willing to pay you for that, then, just keep moving along. But it is there because there are some
I
super
have
intuitive people.
something I want to ask you as I'm sitting
Yeah.
here. Just intuitively, something keeps popping in my head,
Yeah.
and I want to know if I don't know if Sarah experiences people take advantage of her, but that's what keeps coming in. So how would she, if that were a scenario, someone just feels like everyone keeps taking advantage of me, giving me more work and not more pay, that kind of thing. How would she shift herself out of that mentality?
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe Sarah can comment and let us know in what perspective she's seeing it. So maybe we can speak a little deeper to it. But yeah, and also let us know if that was supportive too. And then we'll keep going and we'll come back around when we hit her question
absolutely.
reply back. So we have, what is Anna saying? I would love to discover which program is related to the fact that my cat keeps getting ill. Oh my gosh, I just went through this. I think it's to teach me something, but I cannot change this reality. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
girl.
there's a belief system right there in the sentence.
I just went through this. I'll tell you that the level of searching and shifting and yeah, was unbelievable. So much so for me, my beautiful kitty was only, I want to say he was only 12, because I truly had a knowing that they could live longer than that. And he became really ill, and then there's medications he had to take, and it was just getting really, really difficult to keep him going. But what I found was I had said to him, to the kitty, hey, listen, if you want to live, I'm going to reflect that for you. I'll do whatever it takes in order to create that with you. So the choice is yours. If you want to go, I'm okay with that too. Either way, I'm 100% aligned. And that was my communion, like my communication with the cat. And I'll tell you, that cat went 17 days without eating. And I was like, how is he doing this? And the vet's like,
Wow.
I don't know how he's doing it either. I'm like, I know how. Because the commitment to, to me, knowing how much I loved him was like, oh, I'm going to live for her, even though his body was like, no, you're not. This
Yeah.
isn't going to last forever. But I mean, when I say 17 days, he's still as weak as he was, could barely stand. Somehow in the middle of the night would get up, go to the litter, do a little pee and maybe something else, and then go back to bed and not stop in between. And how I know, because every day I clean the litter just so I would have an awareness while I was sleeping, and he was back in his bed. And I'm thinking, how the heck did that happen? So yes, maybe not him getting sick, but perhaps he's showing you, or he or she, did you say he or she? You said your
That's
cat.
just my cat. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps your sweet kitty is showing you that sometimes you get to mind your own awareness of yourself first, and he's showing it to you first. Like, see, have you looked in the mirror? Are you taking care of
Yeah.
yourself? Sometimes,
That's what I was going to say. Are
yeah,
you taking care of yourself?
yeah, that's the reflection. And listen, there's a piece of acknowledgement, allowance, and letting go. Acknowledgement of what's happening in the here and now, right now, noticing what's happening, and allowance of, okay, this is going to be whatever it is. I'm okay with it. And then the letting go of, yeah, I'm going to let go of my preconceived notions as to what I either want or intend or think is going to happen. And when you do that, you shift yourself in a space of clarity. And that clarity will show you something else. It could be they stop getting sick forever because your acknowledgement of something else is happening. You might be missing something. This is happening over here. You might be missing something over here. And it's right. He or she, I keep wanting to say he, is trying to show you that there's multiple things, and it's not easy. I know that's, believe me, I swear it was the
Oh, we
worst
love
time.
our babies so much. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would lean in to being highly aware of how you're feeling when he's ill. So see if you can see what programs I keep saying he. That's to let me know if it's the he or she.
She's
But,
going to give information. Sure.
yeah, if there's programs running for you to be aware of, how are you feeling? What is your emotional response to, let me add something that I didn't add earlier. You having an emotional response to your cat always getting ill. What do you see them being that they keep getting ill? So that's a piece of the programming identification that I didn't say earlier. He's either he or she. Oh, he. Yes, it is a
Yeah.
he. It is a he.
He.
He's either showing you that it's time to notice something within yourself, like you might be ignoring something, but you get to do the identification yourself. What is he, your cat, being that he's getting consistently ill? Now, I know that seems weird because it's your cat, but the reflection is real. The programming is real. So I would check into that and kind of get a feel around that. That beingness that you're going to identify from your emotions is going to tell you the program that's running that keeps showing up. Sometimes when we shift that, even the allowance and the awareness and the letting go of that thing, that's going to free it, right? If you can allow yourself to do that. But you're welcome, Anna. You're very welcome.
So
what's
I'm going to
next?
pop in on Anna as
Yeah.
well. What I want to say is if you're reflecting on yourself, something that's coming in for me, and it may resonate, it may not, is it feels like you look after everybody else, always looking after everybody else. when do you look after yourself? And I think the cat's reflecting that to you. It's like, when are you going to take care of yourself? You need a spa day. You can be a workaholic, honey. so,
Yeah.
so making sure that when you take care of yourself, you're going to take care of that. That's going to heal some things. And I had one of my dogs used to get this pouch underneath her jaw by her throat. And I started reflecting on, where am I not using my voice? And so then I started, like, I was worried about my dog. So I'm like, I think that, our higher selves use our animals because they know we don't want anything to happen to them. So if we know they're a mirror, so I'm doing everything I can to use my voice. Do I need to start a podcast? Do I need to do this? Do I need to speak up in this area? Everybody was hearing from me. And before I knew it, that pocket went away.
Wow.
And so I'm here to tell you, they are our mirrors, and they will show us where we need self-care and to pay attention to ourselves. Where are we not paying attention to ourselves? Yeah. So there is something there, and I don't know if that resonates or not, but if you feel like you can dive into something and then you get consumed by it, it might be that you just need to make sure to set time that you take off no matter what. Like, I had to do that for myself. I'm a total workaholic. So I had to say, Sundays are my day. I don't do anything on Sundays. And then I start to relax with that. And, maybe I'll make a little video. Maybe I'll do this phone call real quick. And next thing I know, Sundays were getting consumed with all the things that I didn't get done during the week because I was doing sessions. And then that catches up, right? Like, it starts getting mirrored back to me. And so I had to get back into structure. Now I end up with like 3 days off a week. And I started manifesting time for me. And so I do encourage that. Do the reflection work. Do it. Sarah responded in there too.
I saw that. Here, I'll put it up there. It says, yes, allowing myself to be taken advantage of in relationships and overworked, underpaid, waiting for a new job offer that's being delayed, but I'm hopeful. Yeah.
This is where Sarah gets to realize she's worthy of so much more. And you came in, Sarah, with this task. You wanted to learn this. You wanted to go through this experience so that you could outgrow it and evolve. And that's where the stuff Wendy's doing here today is like, shut that program off. You're done with it. You learned it. The fact that you're aware of it and looking for this answer means that you've learned what you wanted to learn from it. So now it's you just.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it really is that easy, Trace. Like, that's the one thing I'm excited to share. Like on the regular. So actually, what popped in my head right now was, if you guys are enjoying this and that you find it supportive and helpful in any way, just like drop some comments in the YouTube, both of our YouTubes, or one of them at least, letting us know that, because we've been talking about doing something like this for a long time, and I was catalysted into it because I had so much fun on somebody else's. And so I think that we get to have Tracy on more often than she realized. So,
well, I love being live with everybody. I don't get to do that very often. So I think that could be fun to do that. And the sort of hits I'm getting while you're talking, I'm sitting there listening to you talk, and then all of a sudden I'm getting these little hits. And it's like, if you guys want some hints as to what you're looking at for that mirror, maybe that's what I get to do, is kind of give you some ideas of what that could be.
Yeah. Well, I think in this space, what would be really fun is, this is how we get to have fun giving, like in that space of having fun, showing people how easy it is to discover, because it's easy for us to articulate all the things and we can identify them. So coming into this space and actually doing this is like, so much fun, like so much fun. And it gives us a chance to just play. We get to play together as friends and put our work together. And the true nature of this is that it's like a portal, right? When you guys are listening live, when you're participating and listening, even if you're listening to it like live on the replay, you're calibrating to the information that's landing in your field. You're resonating in some way, and something else is being shown to you frequency wise that you wouldn't have had otherwise, because you would still be going through your reality, in the same frequency. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any of it. However, if something's stirring and you pop in, you're going to have access to something different, something new. And oftentimes that's all we need, right? To feel like, yeah, that's what I needed today, that little thing. I have a new thing that's out, and I haven't even like launched it yet. So maybe this will be a good place to put it out. But it's it's called the Daily Freak, and freak as in frequency, but it's audios, it's direct to text, so it's either WhatsApp or text. And the Daily Freak is you pick your category of whatever you'd like to stay calibrated and open to, and then the text goes out and you get to just listen to it and calibrate. So a lot of times I find my clients do that. If I'm sending them audio messages in the morning, it recalibrates them to be really set for the day, especially high performing humans who know that they're after something and they want it now, they don't want it later. So we're collapsing that leg there. So the Daily Freak was created for that. And I work with a lot of really amazing high performing musicians and business people. And also the categories are different. And relationships, like even love and relationships, that's, I never in a million years thought I would play in that space, but it's actually really fun because when you can identify and shift the programs, you can have a relationship with whomever you want because the programs are real and they're running. And when you change them, everything in your reality changes. So anyway, I could go on. I get very passionate because it's
a little bit passionate. I think so.
I have a thing up here for, she was saying, yeah, it is a he. It really is a he, she was saying. But the next one that she put up was that she's literally in tears because she loves to take care of others and she really stops to think about what she needs. So thank you. That's what she's saying. And to you, Tracy, you nailed her on the head too. Is really this portal space is fun with the two of us bringing in.
It is kind of fun because I swear you're talking and I'm getting a head full of things over here while you're talking. I'm like, okay, I'm going to share it. Wonderful.
Oh, thanks, Thomas. That's sweet. And I have one from Donna here too. It says, I am having cataract surgery on my left eye in a couple weeks. And I know there's something I'm not seeing, but for the life of me, cannot figure it out. Any suggestions on how to figure it out? Oh, goodness. Yeah, always, right? The fact that you're identifying that it's you. Hello, powerhouse. I mean, that's the number one thing. If you can identify that it's you creating your reality and you're trying to show yourself something, when it shows up in the body, it's because it's been swirling around your space for a damn long time, right? It takes a while for it to show up physically because the density of our physical skin suits are, when we're the resonator, usually as energy source energy in a skin suit, we get the energy hit first. But if we're like, nah, maybe later, I don't want to really pay attention to that. We tend to ignore till the fact that it gets so dense because we're ignoring it. It lands in our bodies and creates some type of a frequency misalignment, so to speak. But what are you getting on this, Trace?
It's really interesting because it's not what I thought I was going to get. Donna, what I get with you is that the cataracts are because you're looking at the past.
Ooh,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like, whoa, wait, that's not what I thought it would be. And there's something from the past that you keep looking at and they want you to quit looking at it. That's what the cataracts are from. So when you're done with this, you're done with this, right? Like you're going to be, don't look at the past. You don't need to, all the things. Donna's been a part of my collective for a very long time. Beautiful energy. I love having you in my family group on YouTube. But yeah, I'm a little surprised that that's what popped in. There's something from the past. And now that you're aware that that's what it is, it'll be so easy to let it go and be like, oh, I don't need to keep going there. Whatever it is, it's complete is what I'm hearing. It's complete and all is healed and done with that. So maybe I hand it back to Wendy now and she can wrap that up in a pretty bow.
Yeah. Well, I would say that you're in this space with both of us here and everyone that's online with us. Donna, look at from that perspective, from Tracy's information about something you might be addressing about the past. What is it being? What would the past be being to you? And that is the program that's running, whatever that program is. So for example, and I'm just going to speak out into the like swirlies of it. If you're looking at the past like you're regretful, it causes regret, or it causes you to not see what's in front of you. So it's blinding.
Wow.
Imagine what that could create as a program.
I feel like there's so many people listening to this right now. This isn't just for you, Donna. So thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's so many people can benefit from this very question.
Yeah. So good. I mean, there's a lot there. And it's amazing once you start identifying those programming pieces, getting in there. So I'm going to share this as well so people understand. Yeah, you can shift this all yourself. Like you don't need Tracy and I to shift it for you. I always say, for me in my world, I love speed. People pay me for speed. I can identify it right with someone's permission and shift it instantly, and it disappears. But that's not like, I can't serve the entire globe like that. That's not, it just doesn't make sense. However, what I can do is teach you how to see for yourself the programs that you have running. And if you find that you're not able to shift them yourself because you're getting in your head or you're getting in your own way or something's stopping you, it's not because you can't do it. It's because there's other programs that are supporting the not doing it. And
Mhm.
those are the places where I would go is, let's look at the programming that's holding that in place. Any of the fears, any of the stuff that's getting in the way of actually being the powerhouse that you are in the skin suit in order to change the reality as you know it. So if for some reason you can't shift something, this is for everyone, right? Don't get discouraged and don't think, oh, it's not for you. You can't do it. Everyone can do it. If there's programming in the way, that's where we get to shift those things so that you can, because it's all available. Even the consideration of doing this work or doing it for yourself or even being curious about it is your knowing that it's already there. Just because you can't access it doesn't mean you can't. Like if you can't access it in a moment, doesn't mean you can't ever access it. It just means there's a couple of other little crappy programs in the way that you have used as fail safes to hold you somewhere safe. And the ego brain, I always call it AI ego, and that's a whole new ball game. But it'll hold things in place just for protection. And there isn't anything wrong with that, but it's not always serving us.
Sometimes when it's hard to figure out what that fear is, I ask the question, what's at risk if you let this go? And it gets you to think in a different direction. Well, what changes if I let this go? What changes? And something in life changes, and maybe sometimes it's just the very excuse that, like, I would catch colds to give myself, because remember I said I was workaholic. So when I was in the corporate world, the only way I'd let myself, like if I'm exhausted, the only way I would let myself call in sick was if I were down with something contagious, right?
Yeah.
And so what would happen? I would get exhausted, burnout, and so my body would go into some sort of illness so that I would justify calling in sick.
Yeah.
And we do those things. We might not realize, because it's in a subconscious state, that we've created something so that we could say no to something else or give ourselves permission to relax or whatever it might be. So there's something in the story, and that question might help you get to, what is your hesitation to let this go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes
there's
sense.
more in there.
Yeah, because I find too, Trace, with that, if you allow yourself to address aspects of your own thinking mind and your own experience, that's going to gift you a lot of information, like a lot of data, right? And that, I mean, it's distinguishable from trying to learn it from someone else and say, well, I want them to show me, I want them to tell me. And that's all fine. And they can, and we can. And the gold is in you. Like you have some special sauce, each and every one of you do. This unique, beautiful, individuated skin suit was born this way. Otherwise, you'd be born attached to a million other people, and you're not, right? So the gold is in the uniqueness of you. And knowing that means that every bit of you doesn't get to be in comparisonitis to anyone else. So if the struggle is in allowing yourself or finding that you're not actually able to see or know the things you want to, it's not because you can't, it's because you have to ask more questions and then come to these spaces like this where we can support you in, really calibrating your knowing to a space where you can do it. Because there's just some programming in the way. I mean, I say it with ease because it is that simple. It really is. Yeah. We're here now where we can actually address those things with such ease. And there's probably so many other people out there doing that as well, right? So let's get
Exactly.
some more comments in here. Oh, gracious me. Well, I'm going to put Annette's up here. I have a tumor in my throat, aware of not speaking my truth in the past, but the last 7 years, I learned to stand my ground and still have the tumor growing bigger. Trace, do you want to dive in first?
Oh, I was reading the other one too. So
Oh, yeah.
aware of speaking my truth. Oh, okay. So interestingly enough, Annette, I feel like yours is related to a past life, and that a lifetime where you were not allowed to speak, like you're not allowed to talk. And so at this point, that's all I get is that it's not like you were hung or something like that. You just were not allowed to speak. And it could even be that somebody broke maybe the voice box. I don't know what, maybe you were mute. And so there's something triggering that right now, being your mirror. Like we were talking, we should call this mirror on the wall. I think that would be fun. But the mirror, something mirrored this to you where you're not feeling heard or not able to get your voice heard by somebody, and they could be connected to that lifetime as well. And it's triggering this.
You know what? So I love this because you're saying stuff and stuff's popping out for me too.
I know, right? It's like,
cool. Oh my God.
We're going to feed off each other.
So I want to ask a really interesting question to Annette. And Annette, you're going to have to answer this in the chat so we can see it. Is it possible that were you a singer? Like, do you like to sing? Is that something that you enjoy doing? Is there a piece of that? Because I got that when Tracy was talking. I'm like, hold on a second, because there's more to the story. So if you are, I'm going to share it either way, and I'm going to speak to it now anyway before you even say that, because I'm my interpretation of how to dissolve whatever it is, be it past experience or not, or something else, that the resonance of either singing or music or song, whether it's from you or someone else, will dissolve that programming, right? Acknowledging, okay, well, I don't know what it is. I've done all the things that I can. And it feels like there's an element of a song. And I don't know why that actually happens, but that's just what is kind of popping in. When you were talking, Tracy, I kept getting something about singing, and that you can find a way to, that certainty I was talking about earlier, you guys, when you have a certainty, because you have a knowing, when you have a knowing, that certainty can't be shifted, because it's like 100% of where you are in this reality, in this now. And that power is coupled with the authenticity of resonance, right? And what is it they're saying? Authenticity, which is speaking your truth, saying what you know to be true for you. So your knowing is 4,000 times more powerful than love. Because love can be misinterpreted in so many ways. So something about, there's an authenticity piece, and there's music or sound or singing in that space. I'm just going to toss it out there. I could be wrong.
I love that. I also want to ask the question, what does it mean to you when somebody doesn't hear what you're saying? Like there's some sort of, because there's an energy of frustration or anger going on. And it could be, again, from that past life. And if she was a singer in a past life and something took that away, that could be carried over into this life. There's so many elements to this, but get to that emotional piece. What's the emotional piece there for when I can't use my voice the way I want to? How does that feel? What does that mean to you? So, there's so many things that we're getting at this. That was great.
I want to highlight what Thomas said here. This type of grouping ability with you both collaborating is extremely rare in its richness. The doors of life fling open. How sweet. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah. We feel it too, because it's what you should see when we get together and we do stuff online. It's like we could go for hours and hours and hours and hours. Never the time even exists. We're like, what time is it? I don't know. I think we got to go to bed. It's like it's so much fun. It's all in the lightness of joy too, and I think that's an extremely powerful frequency to play with, because a lot of great things happen in the frequencies of that space. But I see a comment here from Delphi. I think it's a question. Let me see. Yeah. So, what can I do to find a partner to go through life with? I am lonely. Ooh, this is a really good one. I have lots of stuff. Do you want to go first, Trace?
This is very popular. Well, as soon as I read it, it hit me in the lower chakras. And of course it would, because this is your earthly experience. We're meant to be sharing our lives with people, and interacting there. Um, so there's something in the lower chakras. It feels like it's so weird. So as I'm sitting here just thinking about it, I get a parent's voice in my head saying something that makes me think I'm not a good enough partner for other people, right? Like, how are you ever going to get a partner if you can't cook, or if you can't provide, or if you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like the critical voice, but it was not intended to be crippling for you. It was supposed to be that reverse psychology, right? Like, I'm going to say something negative so that you try to prove me wrong. Well, it's stuck in there, and there's a program running that I feel like this is where Wendy will knock that right out of the park. So let's get rid of the old program. Boy, it's already shifting. I don't know if you can feel that, but my whole gut was just seized. And now that I've said this, I feel like I can breathe again. So yeah.
Well, where I would go is go to the empowered space of what do I see in other people's relationships that cause me to feel that longing of loneliness, right? It's one thing, I say this with so much love. I could do life I could fill my reality with so much stuff that I wouldn't even know the word existed any longer. And at the same time, it's so much fun to play with other humans, right? It doesn't get to be a lonely space. So that's why I would say to Delphi, go into your heart and ask yourself, what is it about other relationships, the kind that you want, not just random ones, but the kind of relationship you feel you want, and look at someone else having that type of relationship, and then look at the emotional response that arises when you're looking at it, like when you're viewing it. That emotional response is going to be the indicator of the program that's running. Now, how do we indicate? We look at, what are they being? What is that relationship being? And it could be anything. Whatever word pops in, whatever one you want to keep saying, it's being annoying because I keep singing. That's what I want. And I don't want to keep singing it, right? Maybe it's whatever it is. We don't get to judge what pops in for us as what it's being. It could be jealousy. It could be a million different things, but only you can know that, right? Only you can know the program that's running to identify it. And when you do, then the unpacking becomes faster. And what happens when you unpack and release that programming, it shifts in your inner reality. Your external reality must show you something different. So my only word of caution would be, you might want somebody in your reality, but are you ready for that somebody? When I say, oh, what do I mean? What are they being? Like a way of being? So let's see. So how would I explain that, Tracy? If somebody's being something, they're going to be annoying, or they're going to be irritating, or they're going to be self-righteous, or they're going to be
what are they being?
They're being too affectionate,
they're being a narcissist.
So you're going to call them something. You're going to label what they're being, right? So they're going to be something that's going to have an identity to it. And every time you experience it, it's the emotions that are going to indicate that there's a program out of aligned running, if it's a lower frequency emotion. And then the next ask is, what is that person, place, or thing or situation being to you? Because you'll be like, you know what? That's really annoying. Then the program is an annoyance. Right. So you might have found, and just this is a total example, you might have found that it's annoying to watch people in relationships because you want it so much. You've now, as much as programs are running, listen, they don't come from nowhere. They come from somewhere, right? Programs get, I always say, bought. Like, imagine yourself shopping in a grocery store and you're like, oh my God, that's so annoying. And and someone else beside you goes, yeah, it totally is. And you're like, yeah, it's so annoying. You're buying it. You're like, yeah, you're installing.
I'm going to get the family size box of that one.
Yeah. You're literally installing program by aligning and agreeing with it, right? So as soon as you decide that's true for you, only for you, you're going to, you've decided that. Your friend doesn't have to decide. You could decide that something's annoying for you when you see it. That is an installed program that runs. When it's running, it's going to show up everywhere you look. In fact, it's going to show up in places that don't even look like what you think, but it's going to appear as annoying because it's very similar frequency. And how will you know? You're going to have an emotional response to a person, place, thing, or scenario or situation that causes a response where they're being annoying and it's irritating you, right? Emotional response. Now, that you're buying that program, and I say buying it as you're installing that program, you will then, how do you know it's not in your wheelhouse to keep it? Because A, it's creating a lower frequency emotional response, which is annoying. And it's putting you off your track, because when we're emotionally responding to something that's a lower frequency, we automatically put too much thought and energy into trying to pop ourselves out of it versus riding on the high wave of excitement or love or something else. So when we buy it now, you're going to notice it everywhere. And the other piece is you're going to try to tell people that you are not that, because God forbid they call you that. So if you buy the program of, a particular relationship style is annoying because it's too much PDA. Everywhere you look, you're going to see something that shows you a level of too much PDA, and you're going to get annoyed. It's going to feel irritating, right? Then when it comes to a relationship, when you want one, if most relationships have the potentiality around being too much PDA, you will not have it. It will not. You'll be like, no, don't want that. But all the while feeling like you want a relationship, but you have installed programming that's resisting it. Now, you may say, well, when I have a relationship, I'm not going to be PDA like that because that's too much stuff. I'm showing the world too much of my, private life. You're going to tell people that first. I don't want anybody
You want to
to
hear a funny story about almost that exact story?
Oh, yeah, tell me.
Okay. So back in the day when I was doing the dating apps, I would go on these dates and these guys would want to kiss you goodbye after a coffee date. It's like, I known you for like 2 hours and they're trying to kiss you at the car. And so I was making a comment about that to my family, saying, making a joke about how, they want to kiss you after, they want to make out after knowing you for 2 hours. And the very next date I went on, the guy walked me to the car. We stopped at my car and he says, so do you want to make out? Like literally use those words. I was like, what's happening? And this is my early stages of figuring out the mirroring and the manifesting and all of that. But I mean, I literally lived that story you just told. And
okay, let's be fair. I probably pulled it right from your frequency.
You probably did. You probably pulled it right from my noggin, going, "Tell the kissing story. Tell the kissing story." Yeah. So,
oh my gosh, that's funny. But what's
your story, Delphi? What's your story?
So we're literally knowing that you're in this space where you could actually have what you want. Just we get to address the programs that are in the way so that you can have it, because you will. And that's what I was saying. Be forewarned, because it could be one program in the way, and the next thing you know, you're gonna have like people coming out the wazoo for a relationship, and you'll be like, oh, "Okay, hold up, what just happened?
I'm find the happy balance in here.
Who's hit me with the fire hose of humans here?" Yeah. So I mean, listen, if
it's raining men,
would it be a horrible thing? I mean, I don't know. I guess after a while it could be, but
it might be too much. After being lonely and then it's raining men, it might be too much. But anyways, I'm going to say to you, Wendy, we need to wrap this up around the half-hour mark?
Yeah.
Just because I do have another appointment today. So
I
know I could sit here and play with you guys all day, but I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I have another appointment.
Well, we're going to do this regularly if you're open to it. And I think it's just too much fun not to do. Right. And I say, well, some really good things on here. Right. I'm loving this live, Donna.
Thank you, you guys. We're loving it too.
We're loving you guys too. That you are creating the vibration that's causing all the things that we get to share with you, which is really fun.
Did you get the one that's validating the singing?
I think so. Right here. Is it this one?
Next one down. Go to the next one down, I think. She rewrote it. I mean, they say the same thing, I think, but yeah.
It makes sense. In my young days, I had Celine Dion voice, and now it's all correct. See?
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you for that. And
thank you
for sharing that with us. I think there's just loving your voice, and any lifetime that's connected to that, just release and send love to it.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
thank you guys.
these spaces are, we're sharing this because we both do work in the world with other beautiful humans, and you're welcome, Delphi. We, this is the work we do, but it, without letting people know how easy and simple it is and how much fun we can have while shifting and changing our own
Yeah.
individuated worlds in this way. I mean, we didn't realize that having an audience with the two of us together would be so potent and so much fun because we hadn't done it before. We usually do fun
We were
stuff,
prepared to just talk.
the two of us all by ourselves, like nobody shows up. And we talk about this stuff too, but
Thanks for
usually,
showing up, guys.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just about us usually in the room. So, and it's, I mean, I love you, Trace, and it's so much
And I
fun
love
with
you.
other humans in the room too, right? So
Absolutely.
yeah, so good. We're so pleased to
We could call
support.
them our amplifiers.
Yeah, well, imagine what's happening in their field of energy as well. Maybe we look at that for 2 seconds before you have to go. Is let's look at the resonance that gets created and shifted when you're in a room where there's a co-creative, co-collaborative frequency transformation occurring by just showing up, right? That's a space of trueness. When you show up with an open heart and you're willing to participate and play and be open, something happens no matter what. We are transmitting, right?
Mhm.
Versus talking. We're transmitting. And that comes from a deep heart center, which when you're in a resonant space, someone in the room can resonate also and calibrate to that transmission. So they're everyone that's gets to open their heart and be here with us. We're so grateful, and the transmission is real. The literal transmission of the frequencies that we're delivering in this conversation is for everyone to calibrate with, and at the highest levels, always the intention, because you get to have a different experience. So don't be surprised when you hop off here if your world looks a little brighter, if it feels a little happier, if it feels a little warmer. I mean, that is the intention, that you walk away with something beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Tracy and I are
My-
both in space.
The thing I say when that kind of stuff shifts and happens, I'm like, oh, what timeline am I on right now? It's like we are changing these timelines and our experiences and shifting these relationships. Remember that the people in our lives they're reacting to our energy to become our mirror, just like you're reacting to their energy to be their mirror. You're mirroring to people as well. And so when you get to that point where you're seeing the beauty and the love and the exciting things about each person and what's going on in this world, and those are the things that stand out to you, that's a good day.
It is a good day.
Yeah.
Donna, thanks, Donna. We've been trying to do this for years, no lie.
No lie.
We've been talking about it for
Yeah. Well, we've done these before, just not live, I don't think, but it was fun to do it live. I mean, when you asked me to do that, I was like, and we're on opposite ends. She's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. You're in Canada. I'm in US. And we've been trying to orchestrate something for a while now. It's usually, we got the time difference, which I screwed up the other day and thought that I was the one 3 hours ahead. I don't know where I think that was my Iceland brain. When I came back from Iceland and I was just like, weird experiences to have light 24/7. It's 11 o'clock at night and it feels like 2 in the afternoon because it's light outside.
Was it strange? I think I would stay up 24 hours.
Oh yeah, it would have been easy to stay up. I don't know. That would have been interesting to see how long I could stay up without exhaustion finally kicking in, because we'd go in the theater and watch one of their shows or acts or whatever, and it's all dark in there and you're feeling it. It's like, okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. And you come out and all the windows, it's 2 in the afternoon. It feels so light out. And it's like, whoa, that just tricked my brain into thinking it's the afternoon now. And then it's like, oh, and I got to go to bed. It was such a weird experience, but also a very phenomenal experience with a really cool group of people there. And anyways, but yeah, I think this is great, and this is a wonderful platform. And I'm going to try and talk Wendy into some sound effects to go with some of our stuff. Like, I mean, we talk about life being like a game, I think, seriously, I think this chat that we're doing right here, where we're looking at the mirrors and doing that kind of stuff, we could have some fun with it. And tell your friends. Next time you see the banner, you guys, that EchoCode Live banner come up, that'll be telling you when we're going live again. So watch for that.
Yeah.
And if you catch it later, that's okay. There's going to be something in it for you.
Yeah.
I always feel that.
I think in this space where we've done them, and thank you, Kelly, for your do more lives. I think so too, because we have so much fun we get to share. That just drop some stuff in the comments when you think of something, because I'm going to go back in regularly and I'll respond to you guys. But if you drop some stuff in there you'd like to chat with, there could be some type of a theme. There usually is, because when I do a lot of group stuff at a high level for other people, let's just say, in their space, in their high level masterminds. And what happens, I find, is when I pop into the room, there's a theme.
There's a common ground.
There's always
every time.
It just makes it so easy. So I don't really have to do much except for show up, and I know the theme is already happening. So by all means, bring on the stuff that you like to chat about, because it's never ending. I mean, there's a million and one things we could do.
At this comment. Coffee glass says the future is
very right.
Hopefully the future is divine balance, is what I love. The masculine energy.
We could live without it, let's just say.
Right. And I think as we're finding that balance with our masculine, feminine, I think we're really coming into a true, beautiful version of humanity.
Yeah.
And we'll get to play in that for a while, right?
We all carry it. We utilize it in different ways, right? That's one thing. I am a highly feminine woman with a very powerful masculine essence. I know that for sure. So I mean,
I raised 3 boys by myself. So yeah, my masculine, when the boys all got to an adult age, it was really interesting, because that was right around the same time I'm turning 50. Yeah. And so with all of that, it became very obvious to me that I needed to start diving into self-care and feminine, and diving more into that. And I cannot tell you, since I started doing that, more people call me Mama Tracy, because I'm all nurturing now, and all, diving into that feminine energy, and just kind of the flip side of the coin. And even as I'm saying it, I'm like, oh, that's why that happened. We're just riding the wave. And so I'm finding that balance. And still, again, the mom of 3 boys, where's that balance in there? You know, and they're all adults now, taking on the masculine role. And how was that influence on them? Now I'm just like, how did I do?
The reflection is real.
What's happening here? Yeah. So
well, thank you for saying yes to me when I asked you. It was a via text. I'm like, hey girl, I'm going to do a live. You want to jump on Facebook Live with me? Or not Facebook, YouTube Live. Yeah. I'm not a big Facebook person, but I'm like, do you want to do YouTube Live with me? I'm still learning. So, let's do it. And so that's how this experience was born. My intentionality is to do it regularly. So I'm going to bring on some really amazing, beautiful humans as well. And Tracy is like top of my list. I just adore her so much. We've grown in so many ways together, doing our work with each other. And thanks, Brandon. And so we're just going to keep it going, and now we get to share it live. So we will, my intention is to do it regularly, a couple of times a week anyway. So we will.
So go find, if you're not on Wendy's page already, follow her so you can meet some more guests and play with Wendy some more.
Vice versa, right? Yeah. Anyone who's finding us and gets to go over it and follow you as well, because you do some super cool stuff on your channel as well.
I love my life. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, that gets to be maybe part of the next conversation. We'll talk about that stuff too. And by all means, Tracy's a super badass powerhouse. So we just all get to
like minds. We all came together because we're all super badass powerhouses.
Can I even say on here? I guess so. My page. Oh, if you go to my page, I don't really page
Oh,
means Facebook.
hold
Or,
on. Let me see if I can fix this for you, because she's watching on my page. So
oh, cool. You know what? I have this fun little thing.
let me see if I can post it in the chat there for you guys. Okay, so I just posted the link to the live on Wendy's page because that was the easiest thing for me to grab. So if you're on my page and you want to go to Wendy's page, that'll at least kind of get you there. Yeah, it'll get you to the live, and then you can click on her little icon, and that'll get you to her page.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, see, we're still learning. At least I am, anyway.
Yeah. I was trying to be quick about it, but you know what? I can just go to this, and that'll be quick as well. What's the title? Timeline Shifter. That's her.
Oh, yeah. Did I even put that on mine? Yeah. All the stuff to do with timeline stuff.
There we go. Now, did that go out to all the pages when I respond like that? I think it does.
You're asking me, I have zero idea.
That one goes to our actual page. You guys are watching us be truly live.
Okay, well, thanks again for coming. I can't wait to do another one with you, because we're going to
Thank you for having me, Wendy, and thank you guys all for being here with your beautiful selves and your wonderful questions, and thank you for testing us with those. So
good. That just made it so fun. Thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next time. Have an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you guys later.